Watch this to the end. Chapter 8: Navigating Relationships After Trauma. Trauma can fracture relationships, but healing is possible, both within yourself and with others. Trauma doesn't just affect your internal world, it often reshapes the relationships in your life as well. It can create barriers to intimacy, trust, and communication, making it difficult to reconnect with loved ones or build new connections. But just as you can heal yourself, it's possible to heal your relationships and navigate the complex dynamics that trauma can create. In this chapter, we'll explore how trauma affects relationships and provide practical tools for rebuilding trust, setting healthy boundaries, and fostering meaningful connections. After experiencing trauma, it's common for relationships to feel different. You might find yourself withdrawing from people who used to bring you joy. Or you might feel like certain relationships are strained because of the emotional weight you're carrying. Trauma can affect relationships in a variety of ways, such as trust issues. Trauma can make it difficult to trust others, even those who have never hurt you. You may find yourself questioning people's intentions or feeling unsafe in situations that were once comfortable. Emotional distance. You might feel emotionally numb or disconnected from the people around you, even those you care about. This can lead to misunderstandings or feelings of isolation. Triggers in relationships. Certain interactions or conversations can trigger reminders of your trauma, leading to emotional responses that are difficult for others to understand. Overprotectiveness or hypervigilance. After trauma, you may feel overly protective of yourself or others, trying to control situations to prevent harm. Understanding how trauma shapes your relationships is the first step toward healing them. Trust is one of the most important elements of any relationship, but it's also one of the first things to be damaged by trauma. Whether it's trust in yourself, in others, or in the world around you, trauma can make it feel like trust is impossible to regain. However, trust can be rebuilt over time, both within yourself and with others. Action step: rebuilding trust in small steps. Trust doesn't have to be restored all at once. It's okay to start small. In fact, small acts of trust can build the foundation for stronger relationships. Here are some ways to begin. Trusting yourself. Start by trusting your own feelings and instincts. Allow yourself to acknowledge your emotions without judgment, and trust that you are capable of making decisions that support your well-being. Trusting others. Identify 1 or 2 people in your life who feel safe to you. Begin by sharing small, manageable parts of your experience or opening up about how you're feeling. Over time, as you see that they respond with care and respect, you can gradually deepen that trust. Rebuilding trust is a gradual process. Don't rush it and be patient with yourself as you navigate this journey. After trauma, it's important to communicate your needs clearly to those around you. This can be challenging, especially if you're used to holding things in or avoiding conflict. But healthy communication is key to navigating relationships after trauma. Start by identifying what you need from your relationships in this stage of healing. Do you need more support, space, or understanding? Once you've identified your needs, communicate them as openly and calmly as possible. Exercise. Writing a relationship letter. If you're struggling to communicate your needs verbally, try writing a letter to someone in your life. This could be a partner, family member, or close friend. In the letter, express how you've been feeling, since the trauma, and what you need from them moving forward. Be honest about your emotions, but also give them the space to respond and support you in the ways that they can. Here are a few prompts to guide your letter. What changes have you noticed in yourself and your relationship since the trauma? What are your emotional needs right now? How can the other person best support you on your healing journey? This letter can serve as a starting point for deeper, more open conversations. In the aftermath of trauma, it's crucial to set boundaries that protect your emotional well-being, Boundaries help you feel safe and respected, and they create the space for you to heal. However, setting boundaries can feel difficult, especially in relationships where you're used to putting others' needs before your own. Boundaries can include things like limiting certain types of conversations that trigger painful emotions, creating space for yourself when you need to recharge or reflect, saying no to situations or people that drain your energy. Remember, boundaries aren't about shutting people out. They're about creating an environment where you feel safe and supported. Action step: boundary mapping. In your journal, create a boundary map where you identify specific boundaries that feel necessary in your relationships. Consider the following areas. Emotional boundaries. How much emotional energy are you able to give? And what do you need to protect your own emotional health? Physical boundaries. Are there places or activities that make you feel unsafe or uncomfortable? And how can you avoid them? Communication boundaries. Are there certain topics or conversations that you need to limit in order to protect your mental health? Once you've created your boundary map, think about how you can communicate these boundaries with the people in your life. Remember, boundaries are an act of self-care. Trauma can change the dynamics of existing relationships, but it can also open the door for new, more supportive connections. As you heal, you may find that you're drawn to people who understand your experience or who bring a sense of peace and calm to your life. When fostering new relationships, take things at your own pace. Focus on building connections with people who respect your boundaries, honor your healing process, and offer support without judgment. Reflection. Break. How has trauma affected your relationships with others? What boundaries do you need to set in order to protect your emotional health? How can you begin to rebuild trust in your relationships, starting with yourself? Navigating relationships after trauma can be challenging, but it's possible to rebuild trust, foster deeper connections, and set boundaries that protect your well-being. By communicating your needs clearly and honoring your own healing process, you can create relationships that are supportive, meaningful, and rooted in respect. Remember, the people who truly care about you will understand your journey and be willing to walk alongside you as you heal. Thanks for being on this journey with me. Come back soon to watch another video as we grow and heal together. Please also leave a comment, share, and like to support the channel and each other along the way.